This is take two. Hello, children of Florida and other children out there who may or may not be listening. This is your father speaking, the top T. And today we're going to talk about another episode of money and investing. Today, particularly, I'm going to teach you a little bit about investing because investing always goes with money and money always goes with investing. But first, I've got something warm and brown to drink. It's brown, no, it's black. It's a DE&I program in a cup. Coffee, my favorite. So good. We've recently had our first snow on schedule. Every year, about October 31st, about Halloween, we get our first snow of the season. And this snow was fairly substantial, maybe 6, 7, 8 inches, something like that. Big snow, big time. And so, it'll all be melted by the end of the week. Wednesday, Thursday, it's supposed to be 65. Children all over the world want to know about investing. And before we talk about investing and what to invest in, I want to talk about how a professional investor thinks. Very important, how a professional investor thinks. So how does a professional investor think? Before we decide what do we invest in, right? Kid's got $50, $100, $1,000 and goes, I want to invest. I would like to invest. What do I invest in? I think the question is, first, what's the right way to think about this? And the right way to think about it is this. The first question an investor asks, or one of the first questions, is when do I get a return of my money? Meaning, if I invest $100 and I get a return on that investment, let's say 10% a year, $100, I put $100 in, 10% a year, every year I get $10 back, like clockwork, $10 back. Well, in 10 years, I get back my original 100, and then after that 10 years, I start making a return on my money, extra money. So on year 11, I start actually making money because I have to get my money back first. So the first question is how long is it going to for me to get my money back and then I can get a return on this investment? If you bought a car wash for $1 million and that car wash makes $500,000 a year, it takes 2 years to get your money back, to get that money back in your pocket so that you can take that $1 million and invest in something different. And then you get your money back so that you can take that money and invest in something different. You get the idea. This is the first thing we think about is, when do I get my money back? I don't want to give you my $100 forever. I want it back. Very important. When do I get my money back? Secondarily, how is my money protected? How's it protected? I've got $100. I give it to you. Well, who's to say you don't just run off with it? How do I know if you run this company into the ground, I get this money back? Well, banks are experts at this. One way of guaranteeing you get your money back is you protect the money with some form of collateral. Banks will say, hey, I did this to Ryan growing up, right? He wanted to take something from Caleb, and I would say to Caleb, demand one of his favorite shoes. Hold on to the shoe, and when he returns the thing he borrowed from you, you can give him his shoe back. He's got collateral. It looks silly going to school with just one shoe. So when do I get my money back? The return of my money, not on my money, of my money. And how are you going to protect my money while it's in there? A lot of people use insurance as different products, but thinking about it in terms of what do I invest to make money, how quickly am I going to get this money back, and how safe is the money while it's not safe at home with me in my pocket? Money loves safety, but the safer it is, the less they're going to pay you. If I'm putting it in a bank and they've got a giant vault and they've never had a break-in, they might pay me 1%, 2%, or 3%. If I put it in a business and we don't know if it's going to do very well, they might pay me 20% or 30% or something higher than this. As alluded to in the previous video, in order to qualify to invest, to be an investor, you have to have random bits of money lying around not working. And that's a way to think about money is it's like little employees. Each dollar is a little employee, and you want to put that employee to work. Well, you have to have extra little employees to put to work. Most people are spending money on rent, etc., etc. So my first rule of investing for children is to live beneath your means as quickly as possible. What does this mean? It means if you're earning $2,000 a month, find a way to live on $1,500. Get a roommate, get a tiny house, live in a van, live in your mom's basement. You do what you need to do to live beneath your means so that you may make money, and then also above and beyond making money, you may save money. Now, I think I said this last time, but if you are making more than you need, but you're still not saving money, you're committing the really common kind of teenage foible is that you're spending money on stupid shit. So, but when you become an adult, you need to curb the spending money on stupid shit so that you have extra so that you can invest. Live beneath your means. Don't buy stupid shit. Don't get dollars in your fist and go, oh my God, what could I buy with this? Nothing. You put it away. These are employees. You want them active. You want them productive. If you buy stupid shit, it's like firing your best employee. Don't do that. Now, here's the part that everyone wants to know. What do I invest in? Do I invest in stocks? Do I invest in bonds? Do I invest in real estate? Do I invest in fix and flip cars? Do I buy things on Craigslist like furniture and fix it up and sell the furniture? What do I invest in? Do I invest in snake oils, essential oils, any kind of oils? What do I invest in? All kinds of asset class out there. There's real estate asset classes. You can invest in a business. You can invest in crypto. A lot of stupid chicks buying crypto right now. You can invest in gold, hard assets. You can invest in oil and gas. What asset class do you invest in? Your first asset class, I'm going to tell you what it is. Your first asset class, it's not very risky, has a potential for a high level of return, and it's pretty safe. It's pretty safe. What is the first asset class? Well, there are two of them, and for both of you, I would recommend separate asset classes. For Eric, I would recommend you invest in an asset class called Eric Limited. Emma invests in Emma Limited. You invest, your first investment is in yourself, is in your education, is in your business, is in bettering you. What does that mean? You've got money and you're going to do something. Emma's always said snakes, so you're going to do snakes. You invest in your education around this, or you invest in infrastructure. You invest in you. You invest in your business. If you're going to college, you look at the salary. Look at the salary of the area you're going into, whether it be engineering or something where college makes sense. And if you say, what's the average salary out there, when they look it up, go on Indeed or somewhere, look it up, what's the average salary of an engineer getting out of school, right? Let's say it's $100,000 a year. Probably not, because you're a newbie, right? But let's say it's $100,000 a year. Let's say school costs $100,000 a year, and you have to go for 6 years or 5 or 6 years because it's not a regular degree. So that's $600,000. What does that mean? First question an investor asks, how much time will it take to get my $600,000 back, or at least to pay it off? Well, if you don't eat or live, it'll take you 6 years. Actually, it'll take longer than that because you're going to learn about a wonderful thing called taxes. So when you make $100,000, you actually take home like $60,000, $65,000, $70,000. That you don't keep the full boat. They take that away from you because we have to fight a war in Ukraine and Israel, and we're busy keeping health care free for the rest of the planet. So you invest in yourself. You invest in books. You invest in courses. You invest in wisdom and knowledge. And a book or a course takes probably information you can find for free and condenses it. So you can learn something in a year, or you can learn it in 90 days. But it costs a little bit of money to learn it in 90 days. You invest in yourself. Why? Because right now you're worth X amount of dollars per hour. Anything you do in the world can be reduced to how much money is an hour of my time worth. A typical CEO might be $600 to $3,000 on the very low high end an hour. A lawyer, a newbie lawyer, $150 an hour. He's kind of an ambulance chaser, all the way up to thousands of dollars an hour. Guy at Starbucks, $15, $20 an hour. If you're just getting started flipping or doing a business, if you look at how many hours a week you spend on that business and go, how much money did I make this month? You can do the math and say, my time is worth, let's say, $20 an hour. When you invest in yourself and you learn to become more efficient, a better salesperson, make a higher quality product or service, know how to do something that other people can't do, when you invest in yourself, the amount of money in an hour that you are worth goes up, up, up. And so when that happens, don't do what children do. Don't do what's called lifestyle creep, where it's like, shit, I can afford a nice apartment now. I'm going to go live in the nice apartment. Don't do that. Invest more in yourself. And then after that, when you have money laying around, we can have a conversation about stocks, bonds, real estate, which are deep competencies in and of themselves. But first, my recommendation to you is to invest in yourself. That's your first investment. Don't worry about messing up. Throw money. If you're Eric, throw money at Eric. If you're Emma, throw money at Emma. Don't throw money anywhere else. Throw it at yourself, your business, your enterprise. Throw money at yourself. Get better at what you're doing. Move from being dumb at what you do to competent at what you do. Move from being competent, you know what you're doing, to being an expert at what you do, where people can come to you for advice because you're an expert. Move from becoming an expert at what you do to becoming world class, where other experts come to you, people at an expert level come to you for advice and wisdom and counsel, etc., etc. Always be, in the beginning, invest only in you. As you progress, you want to diversify that portfolio. That means investing in different little things. So you still invest in you. You never not invest in you. You still throw money at you, but now you've got extra money left over, and now you can start buying a stock or a piece of land or a piece of real estate, or maybe you buy a .com company off of the internet. There's a lot of different ways you can invest, which also means you have to become smart and competent to know what the hell you're doing when you buy a piece of real estate, know what the hell you're doing when you buy a stock, and even know what it is. So don't ever invest in things you don't understand. Don't ever invest in something without having a very clear picture of, when do I get my money back? And having a very clear picture of, how well is my money protected and what can I do in case things go wrong. And your very first investment is in you, and then afterwards, for the rest of your life, your first investment is in you, and then other investments can go into other things, because you are the most important asset in your life. Invest in you. That's all I have. Let's go listen to Daddy's music.